Instead of a foam roller, we can use a lacrosse ball as well to release some muscles. Let's start with the hamstring. Usually, you'll want a hard surface. Your kitchen chair might work. Use cardboard or a book between your bed or chair and a tennis ball or lacrosse ball. Tennis ball is going to be a little more forgiving, just something to keep in mind. I'm going to use a hard surface here because I have one conveniently available. Taking a ball, you're going to prop it right underneath the hamstrings. You can bias one side or the other a little bit more. Find a spot that feels a little more tender to you. So the lateral or the outside hamstring section, especially if you feel like your IT band is tight, the hamstrings attached to the IT band here, contributing to some tightness along that iliotibial band. So find a spot that feels tender to you, and then from here, sitting up tall and slowly straightening that leg out, feel free to add toes up towards the head, back down. I'm not looking for perfection here. The knee doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It just depends on how tight your muscles are. After we do a couple spots, so after we do a couple kicks, slowly, emphasis on that to embrace and get that stretch, we're just going to move the ball up to a different spot. Commonly, I'll teach 3 or 4 different spots, and 10 slow kicks at each spot to try to get that lengthening. And again, you're going to want to slouch in this position. I want you to try to sit up tall. You won't be able to go as high, and that's okay. It's just based on how the connection of the hamstrings are in relation to the pelvis and the knee. Try a couple different spots in the knee, and then we'll change up our location to something like the piriformis, where you're just taking that ball, laying on your back, and having the ball right below the belt line. So find a spot that feels tender, tight, or sore to you, leaning back on the ground as you're laying into it. Feel free to roll off to one side a little bit more, or to your back, just finding spots that feel tender, tight, or sore. If that doesn't work for you, you could also stand up and lean against a wall. Leaning against a wall is a little more forgiving and a lot less pressure on those muscles. Now, I generally suggest laying completely on your back, just like you're laying down in your bed as you're doing this, versus this awkward position I'm doing here just for the video's sake. Next to that, we also can do hip flexors, or front of the hip. Taking that ball, you're going to find the front of your hip bone. Go just on the inside of that, maybe a little lower, and then lean into perhaps the corner of a door. So if you're in the doorway and you've got the edge of the door here and over, this is pushing against the wall, that counterforce into our hip. I'm going to use a table, which you could also do, and just kind of lean into it here. This way, I can also lengthen my hip here, which is lengthening some of those hip flexor muscles that exist. I can move around a little bit, find some spots that feel maybe a little more tender, and just relaxing on that, breathing through that. And you might notice yourself tensing up or wanting to hold your breath. I want you to try to breathe through it. It's uncomfortable. Just relax, deep breaths, and eventually it should subside, should fade. Generally, give yourself about a minute or 2 in different spots. You can do an oscillation where you're slowly moving as well as a different strategy to try to get those muscles to loosen up a little bit. You're creating an ischemic effect where you're reducing the amount of oxygen and blood flow that goes to the muscles, ultimately trying to get that muscle to relax so that it then performs a little bit better for you. If a muscle is very tight, or if a muscle is lengthened and loose, neither of those muscles can be as effective as it generally could be for us. So the more we work on our mobility, the more we work on our stability and strength to stabilize things, the better off we're going to be and to be able to perform in the exercises and the runs and the things that we want to do. Give it a shot, and feel free to reach out if you have any issues.